Hi there, it's Camila Rose from the Bliss Institute, and I'm back to give a very quick movie review of. I actually need to turn it down. I'm watching Attack on Titan right now. A quick movie review of Ad Astra, and then to talk about my returning, growing obsession with Attack on Titan and knowing what happens at the end. So Ad Astra, Brad Pitt movie, really great. He looked fantastic. I can say that. It was slow. I've seen some folks say it was boring. I could definitely see that. It kind of reminded me of the pacing of what was that? World War Z. Yes, that was the Brad Pitt movie. That was the other one. It felt like it had a similar pacing, so it wasn't something that was very like quick action scenes. There was a lot of time spent in space, and it's a lot of very deep, contemplative, emotional work that's going on. You have Brad Pitt who's playing. Let me look up who's supposed to be playing. Roy McBride. And so he's very known for being calm, keeping his heart rate low and steady, even when he's in very stressful situations. So he's pretty much like emotionally unavailable for everybody, including himself. You get flashes of him with Liv Tyler, who is his wife, playing his wife in the movie, and then she's gone, she leaves. I mean, that's no surprise. That happens very beginning of the film. And so you kind of just go through his journey of him finding his way to reconnect to himself and to understand the importance of human connection and how to deal with an estranged father. You know, we know that his father, played by why can I never remember this man's name? Tommy Lee Jones. I still make jokes about the fact that I was like, this movie is nothing but like a strange sequel to the one where they had to go off into space. I was like, it's just the same people. It's I don't know. I was like, all right then. But Tommy Lee Jones is in there. I really liked his character. I thought that it was actually fitting. Usually there's that whole like estranged father thing going on, and you're just kind of like, what a jerk. But with this guy, it was fitting. Maybe I just connected to the storyline more. But anyways, so that's basically the whole movie. He goes to a couple of different planets. He does some exploring out there in space. He encounters some things. One thing I was curious about, because all the previews for before Ad Astra were kind of suspenseful, kind of horror movies, and I was just like, is this a scary movie? Did I sign up for something I did not mean to? And I did really enjoy that because there was good suspense. Like you were not sure what was going to happen. You knew something bad was going to happen, but you weren't sure whether it was going to be something that was kind of out of this world, like extraterrestrial, or if it was going to be something that was kind of supernatural, or whether it was just going to be like an everyday, like the ship is malfunctioning and we're not going to make it. And I thought that was really nice because it did keep you engaged enough to try to figure out like what direction is this going to take. And even when you find out at the end how things work out and what the story was going to be about, it wasn't so much where it was like, oh, okay, well, you were let down. I was a little let down, but only because I wanted a certain thing to happen that I won't talk about because it's a spoiler. But I was like, oh man, I really wanted, I wanted to see something kind of weird, but it was all very. I guess that's what it was speaking to. The movie was speaking to our desire to want there to be all this extra, all this more to the story, all this more to the point of things. And instead it was just like we're just really important in the roles that we play in our lives with each other, and that's enough. And so I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It didn't feel that long. I'm not even sure how long it was. Maybe about an hour and a half or so. But I liked being able to see the visuals. Visuals were fan freaking tastic. Okay, like all the shots of space, all of the moving through the different, in space, falling Earth, all these different and then like on the different planets, just absolutely beautiful. The shots were beautiful. It wasn't all just, from space or on the ship. It was just like different angles, different perspectives. And it was just fantastic. Like you, even some of it, I can imagine if they had done more in this scene, it was kind of like POV on a video game where you seem like you were seeing the things that he would be seeing, Brad Pitt's character would be seeing as he's on these different planets. So I was like, oh, that's really nice. Like it was just cool. And I really enjoyed it. I'm a fan though of space movies. I like space exploration movies. I like, Star Wars, Star Trek. I enjoyed Interstellar. I liked Sunshine. I liked, just, I don't know, any space movie I'm usually a fan of, but so if you like those types of movies, if you like some exploration, if you don't mind a lot of dialogue, a lot of just kind of talking through everything, not necessarily explaining anything, but just like, let's talk about my feelings and how I ended up here. And I felt like it wasn't just filler, it was actual, it was moving you from one place to the next and carrying you through the story. So that's Ad Astra. I totally recommend going to see it. It was quick. It was fun. I've seen folks recommend seeing it on one of the bigger screens, IMAX, Dolby, something like that. I saw it on a standard screen and still really enjoyed it and went to the first showing so that I could get the cheap tickets, because if it was going to be boring, I was not going to be paying a lot of money for it. I enjoyed it though, but I also enjoy slower paced movies that are more emotionally engaging than quick pace action. Although I am curious, switching over from that, so I'm done with Ad Astra. It's good. Go see it. Switching over from that though, the Rambo movie, like I have no desire to see it. I don't know if I've ever seen a Rambo movie. I am a fan of Sylvester Stallone, but like Rocky, that's my jam. That's my one. I'm a fan of one. Well, I like all of them except for the fifth one. I feel like I halfway watched the fifth one, and I definitely didn't watch like the one with that one kid from This Is Us, Milo something, I think. I didn't watch that one. And then I, of course, watched Creed, even though I haven't seen the second one. I would like to. So I don't know. If you've seen the Rambo, if you thought it was good, let me know. I'm not super into like a lot of violence in movies. It depends. I need to see the context. That's why I haven't seen the new John Wick film, the third one, because I was just like, oh, we're just killing people. And I don't know how I feel about that. So anyways, that was my movie that I saw this week. And now onto my returning growing obsession with Attack on Titan. Somehow I fell into the hole of reading up on Reddit and watching some of the videos from the latest chapter that came out for 121, and then watching some of the episodes from the anime and seeing kind of like going through the storyline, because the theories are that now that, so spoilers, all spoilers. So now that we have Eren, he's in the path, he's there with Zeke. It's supposedly what's that girl's name? Not Yerma. The chick, she's there, and they're trying to figure out kind of like what's everything that's happening with the Titans. And then we have Zeke and Eren, and they're going back with Grisha and kind of going through that whole timeline to see how Ymir, there we go, seeing how all of that happened. And now Zeke is like, this isn't going to happen. He sends off Ymir to go and to destroy the whole situation and to stop the Titans. And Eren's going after her, and he's going to reach out and he's going to touch her. And we know that when Eren touches Ymir, or whoever it is there in this Titan space, that we're going to get to see their memories. That is all I've wanted for so long, because I'm like, I just want to know how all of this actually began and how all of this happened. Then I was on the Reddit. I don't remember who the user was, so credit to whoever it was. But someone was mentioning a picture from I believe it's from the anime, or from the manga, but it had a picture of Ymir with an apple and was being handed to it from like a creature, which of course back then, the devil, we wouldn't have realized it looked very similar to a Titan. But I felt like it looked more like what is that? The cart Titan? I think that's what its name is. That Ymir, not original beginner of the Titans Ymir, was before she turned herself in and went back to help out Colossal and or Bertold and Reiner, and then subsequently died. So I felt like it looked more like her than I felt like it looked like Aaron, but it could have been. And I was like, oh wow, because I really was not a fan of the theory that Aaron was going to be the devil, that he was going to go back, and that somehow he was going to talk to Ymir way back then, and he was going to give her the gift of Titan, or he was going to somehow take away that so that she could be free, because she's kind of trapped inside this world where they're being rebuilt in the past. And so I don't know, I wasn't so much a fan of that, because I don't know, it feels a little too easy. Like, it's still a really good story, it's still a really great way to kind of direction to take things, but I'm just like, oh, I don't know, like, I don't know, because then it really kind of pulls into that whole time loop. And honestly, I don't think it's a time loop. I do think the time is linear. I think it's the memories that make things seem like it's a time loop. Because the line, I was rewatching the episode where Aaron, the guard who gave Grisha the Attack Titan powers, was saying the comment about you have to go and you have to see this through so that you can save Mikasa. There we go. And Armin. And I was like, oh, but no, like, this whole speech just sounds like it's Aaron talking to himself. So, like, the reason why Soldier Aaron was saying those things and sounded the way it was is because Titan Aaron from now was kind of feeding him the dialogue, and that it was really kind of him just talking to himself. And so, and he even makes the comment, he was like, I'm not sure whose memories are these? But like, it's the memories that aren't linear. It's not necessarily that time isn't linear, even though that seems a little confusing. But if you can send the memories to whenever and have them happening whenever, then it means they don't have to be linear, even though things are happening through a linear timeline. So I don't necessarily think that this is like a time loop, and that if Aaron doesn't get it right, then he's going to end up going again and again. That I think more so it's that Aaron and the situation, because he has the ability to send his memories, is that it feels like it keeps happening and that he keeps trying it, but it's more so just the continuous opportunities to be able to do so through all the different errands that exist on their different spaces on the timeline, and that they can all kind of try to, I guess, work together to deliver this information, these memories, and try to change what happens. And I do think that it does end up working. It was really interesting. I was watching, I don't remember which episode it was, but Aaron was like breaking down, because he's always freaking breaking down. And he was like, Mom, I can do it again. I'm so sorry. And I'm trying this. And I was like, dang, like, that does sound like, because it was after he had kissed Historia's hand, after she became queen, and after he saw the visions. Also, note on that, if Historia is able to, like, when she picked up and maybe this is not canonical, so maybe this isn't in the manga, so I'm not sure about that, but when she, in the anime, when she picked up the letter from Ymir, Cart Titan Ymir, she had like a flash and could like see Ymir's process. And then even it seems like she picked up a little bit of what Aaron picked up when he kissed her hand. So if Ymir is able to kind of see these things, like, what does that play into, and what does that really say, other than the fact that she has the access and those abilities because she is of royal blood? And then also, like, the story can't be that clean cut for it to just be like, well, Aaron's just going to fix everything because he'll be the devil and he'll go over there and he'll go do this, because we have all this unfinished stuff going on. Like, Armin, sorry, I'm watching that a slap on Titan. But Armin, like, he became a Titan for a reason, I think, and I really want to see how that plays in. And there's this whole kind of underground narrative going on with Armin being a hero and being special and being important, but like that's just nothing. There's nothing coming from that. What's going to go on with Mikasa? Like, I just feel like it's too clean cut to just be like, oh, okay, here we go. Aaron's the devil. He's going to go back. He's going to fix everything in this space. He's going to give Ymir her freedom. He's going to take over the coordinate from her so that she doesn't have to carry that burden anymore. Also, I was curious as to like the overall story of Ymir. Like, it really would have to be a time loop if this entire time Ymir got these abilities or had some type of interaction with a different form of a Titan coming back and giving the coordinate to Ymir, in that she's kind of like supposed to be the catalyst. She's supposed to be the starting point. Like, it's supposed to be like if you took just a line and you started it, she would be the beginning point. And then I'm assuming at least Eren or Armin will be the end point. The whole 2,000-year span that we're seeing, we start with Ymir and we end with Eren or Armin. So, like, I suppose that she could have gotten it from Eren. I suppose that's how that could have worked. But, and they've talked about, well, the apple that they're handing over, and I think there's something else in other illustrations of this encounter. Is like the wisdom or the freedom or something of that nature, but it seems like it might also be temptation, or it might be perspective. It might be, but it could just be like the knowledge of what all of this is going to come to and how to stop it, what they can do to not have things go forth in the way they are. But I really just want to know how Ymir got. I was wondering if there was something with an experiment, if there was like maybe some type of experiment gone wrong, and Ymir ended up kind of paying the price or being kind of the chosen sacrifice to take on and hold the burden of what they've done. And maybe that's why, they're like, oh, it's a deal with the devil, but maybe like because they were the ones who orchestrated this, then that's why that family is holding the burden of the Titan path. So I don't know. I'm really curious. Oh, this episode where Eren just got his leg cut off, and it's hilarious. I'm sorry, because all I can see now is a slap on Titan, and like I just hear Armin just saying all this craziness, talking about Eren, you're in the mouth, and so like it makes it really difficult for me to watch Attack on Titan sometimes and take it seriously, because all I hear is like I mean and like all of that. So, anyways, those are just my thoughts about Attack on Titan. If I come up with some more theories and I try to figure something out, I will share them. I cannot wait for the next chapter to come out. I know it's going to be that Eren's going to end up touching whoever this person is. I'm also wondering if we're going to flip back to what's happening on the outside world while Zeke and Eren are going through all of this stuff, and that we won't actually see like what happens next there. But I, heart of hearts, would like for Eren and Mikasa, I cannot say her name, to be in game, but I feel like that's not going to happen. I feel like Eren's going to die, or he's going to end up having to be in some like kind of superpower space, like omnipresent space as the god, like when I think his name was Rob, Historia's dad, the king. He was like, oh, this is how we become gods, as we go through and become the Titans. And so like that's going to end up kind of being what happens with Eren. But I think Eren overall is really trying to just free everyone. Like, everyone's seen the outside world and he wants to bring this together. And even though he might end up choosing a way that's kind of violent or not over kind of destructive, that overall, like, that's his goal, that's his will, and that it's like by sheer force of will alone, he is going to change what happens, and he's going to, like he said, he's gonna wrap that ratty scarf around her neck as many times as possible. And I think he is committed to seeing this through. And I think that that is going to be what it takes, especially since he has the founding Titan, he has the attack Titan. He's able to access the coordinate. I think he will get the ability to be able to control the coordinates, and that the link that was supposed to be, and that's, oh, that was the other thing. That's what made me think that like maybe it was some type of experiment or something, because this whole like bloodline thing. And I'm like, well, what could actually like change their DNA if it's not, especially since they're having to put whatever this, maybe it's like the spinal fluid or something like that into them. There's a shots to actually activate the Titans, and then they have to actually eat one of the 9 Titans to become someone who's not just like a bumbling, rambling Titan. That like it seems like it's an experiment. It seems like it's some type of something that went really wrong, or something that went sideways and was not what they anticipated. And as it was only Ymir the first who was affected by this, until she supposedly split herself into 9 pieces, or to 9 parts and types of Titans, then it really does kind of clarify that like whatever this was something that was not necessarily that, or may have been something that the family was a part of, or it might have just been the work of a young girl and her quest to explore the world around her. I do want to get a little bit more into the mythology, and to see if there's any stories that seem like they might be related to this storyline, and see what that might share. But I'm just really trying to figure out and see, okay, how might that have happened? Would it have had to come from a Titan as the devil? Would it have been something that she has done on her own? So anyways, I'm going to stop rambling. So we'll see what ends up happening. I'll talk to y'all later.